hola, hola, hola. Hallo, hallo, hallo. Tere, tere, tere. Yes, yes. Hallo, hallo. This one is Dutch hello. 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 Yes, so. Yes, so. Yes, so. Hey. 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 Marhaban. Marhaban. I know it's flipped. I know it. Salute. 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 Shalom. 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 Ahoj. Ahoj. Zdravím všechny gamerovce a gamerovkyně. Hello. 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 I mean hello. This one is hello. Hello. I sometimes forget. Ciao. Bella ciao. Martigiano. Bella ciao. Bella ciao. Hola. 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 Merhaba. 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 Привет. 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 Yes. Konnichiwa. 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 La paz. La paz. La paz. Kamusta. 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 Sveiki. 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 Hallo. Hallo. Mein Freund. Möchten Sie bitte schlafen? Ja. Hey. 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 Hey, Berkele. Bonjour. 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 Привет. 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 Cześć. 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 Namaste. 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 Sawaste. 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 And annyeonghaseyo. Annyeonghaseyo. Hello everybody. To this slow video intended for your sleep, where you can close your eyes, close them, make them nowhere. I'm not going to take them from you today, but next time I will. And today I'm going to explain you some logical fallacies we are encountering every day in our conversations that you can use to your advantage or as a defense against somebody who is using them against you. You can close your eyes. You don't have to actually listen to this video closely. You can just, get this information while you are sleeping, which can also happen sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And before you close your eyes, leave a like, comment down below what is your favorite insult, but it needs to be like kindergarten one, no offensive words, kindergarten insult, like, I don't know, you look like a garden gnome or something like that, something harmless and relaxing. And if you can hype the video, definitely I would like that. Anyway, let's move to the meat of the video. So, first logical fallacy is strawman. What it is? Misrepresenting someone's position into a weaker version and attacking that instead. Why it's wrong? Because you are defeating a claim that wasn't actually true. Okay, some examples. In politics, she wants modest military cuts, and they say she wants to disband the army. She wants maybe, we will not buy 10 tanks, we will buy 9 tanks. And they say she wants to disband the army completely. And that's a strawman. That's not something the person actually wants. In science, he says climate models have uncertainty, and strawman is he denies climate change. And I will get a little point under the video again that I'm denying climate change for some reasons. But that's a strawman. Like somebody says, those climate change models are not very good. And somebody comes to you and says, so you deny climate change. I will say, no, I'm just saying this model is not very good. Every day you prefer flexible hours, and they say you hate structure and never want deadlines. You say I like the flexible hours working, and they say so you never want to work on deadlines and never want to have structured day, and that's not true. To get what's a strawman, basically you are shifting the focus to something dumb, actually. And how to respond? Restate the opponent's actual claim, steelman it, and answer that. So you have to steelman it. To strawman, you have to steelman. You just have to stay on the topic, stay on the claims, all the time. Strawman is all the time. You see it all the time, especially if you are with your mother discussing something. Like you say, I didn't do this homework because I felt bad or something, and she will tell you, so you are never gonna do a homework in the school. No, I didn't do this homework because I felt bad, because I was sick. And she was like, so you are never, and no, that's not like that. I'm going to do other homework. I didn't do this homework. So you have to stay on topic. You basically can't lie to yourself. And because these videos are watched by men only, you have to practice it. It will make you much better at everything, especially if you have to deal with people. They always tried it. They always try these excuses, even if it's not true strawman, but they always try to strawman every argument, everything. Okay, next one is ad hominem. Attacking the person instead of the argument. So character flaws don't logically refute evidence. For example, in debate, he's divorced, so his policy ideas on schools are worthless. That's illogical, because you can be divorced, you can be actually Satanist or something, and you still can have very good school ideas. You can be very bad person, and you can still have very great, for example, prison reform, which actually, if you've been in prison your whole life, you would actually maybe be more qualified, to do counterfeiter, and then was one of the best anti-counterfeiting people in FBI or CIA or another agency that's coming after me. Your username is online, your username is silly, your data must be due. So just because I'm called Redsaphir ASMR, then everything I say must be like bullshit, which isn't true. Or workplace, she's new here, ignore her analysis. Again, ad hominem. Ad hominem doesn't just need to be like saying mean words to you. It can be just this, you are attacking somebody's character instead of the idea. So that's like they call me when you say something controversial, and they say, they called me this and this and this, but they never called me wrong. Yeah. So bring focus back to the claim and its reason. That's the defense. So you have to like go over it. You need to stay calm, measured, and go over it. Next one is appeal to authority. That's happening all the time. Treating an authority's statement as proof rather than evidence. Proof versus evidence. That's a very important distinction, isn't it? So as experts can err, and celebrity doesn't mean expertise. Happening all the time right now. So famous actor says this no study diet works. Just because the actor says it, it doesn't work. Just because I tell you something, it doesn't mean because I have 36,000 subscribers that are probably like my content, hopefully, some of them. It doesn't mean that if I say something, I am like some voice of reason on the internet. No, I'm just a silly guy that whispers and tries to make you relaxed and learn something new for your life. But if I tell you something, it's evidence. You can say, which I am going to learn you do how to make mind maps in Obsidian one day. And you can say, he said that, probably, but you always should trust but verify, okay? A billionaire tweeted it, so the tech must be sound. No, they want to, sometimes they err. Or health, my doctor cousin says vaccines are risky, no sources needed. Yeah. So if one doctor says that, it doesn't mean it's true. Even though it might be true, but you should always think about other people and your own research. How to respond? Ask for the underlying evidence and consensus of qualified experts. Yes, not just one authority. Like if president tells you to do something, you are not going to do it just because he's a president. Next is bandwagon. Appeal to popularity. That's a bandwagon. That's often used. That's bandwagon. So claiming something is true because many people believe it. That's the worst thing that happens and is very bane of Western civilization, in my opinion. Popularity measures social adoption, not truth. Just because something is popular, it doesn't mean it's true. Like for me, example, I am atheist. I told you that many times. So just because religion is popular, I don't think it's true. I'm for example, I don't mean that there are not right things inside it, but it doesn't mean it's true because just it is popular. Just because Taylor Swift is popular doesn't mean her songs are good, So millions hold this coin. It can't crash, like crypto, for example. Everybody's talking about crypto. It cannot crash. It's gonna crash, Bobby. It's gonna crash. You should sell. Okay, next one. everyone cheats on this test, it's fine. Everybody cheats on this test, it's fine. It's not fine. You're hurting yourself if you are cheating on tests, and just because everybody does it, it doesn't mean it's good. This detox is everywhere, so it's effective. Yeah, fashion trends. How to respond? Separate social proof from empirical proof. Request data. Perfect. Next one. This one is very, again, common. False dilemma. Black and white. Presenting only two options when more exist. It narrows the solution space artificially. So either total surveillance or total chaos in policy. So either you give me all your data, you let me see you in bathroom while you are showering, or there will be total chaos and cats and dogs will sleep together and something like that. And those are not only two options, They are like, you can have cameras but without facial recognition, and you can phone tap people that maybe are suspicious, and they get a warrant, You get a warrant that you are suspicious, so they can phone tap you. Or like EU now wants to do chat control, that they are going to read every message. Why? No, it didn't pass, luckily, but if I'm suspicious, just request judge to follow my chat. Okay, and you can. And if you did something wrong, I can sue you back. Isn't that fair? Obey instantly, or you don't love me. Yeah. Do it, or you don't love me. No, I don't have to do it, and I can still love you at the same time, but I maybe don't want to do it, Remote or lazy? Big one. Yeah. Either you work remote or you are lazy, So if you work remote, you are lazy. That means like either it's for productivity. Either you work here or you work remotely, and you are lazy, But they're like, you can sometimes go to work, and sometimes some things you don't have to do in work. List the missing middle options and make strategies. That's the cure for that, and you should always do that. You should always think about that. And the best thing, as always I say, you have to keep cool and be without emotions. Next one is slippery slope. This one is fun. Asserting one step will inevitably trigger extreme outcomes. But I will say before we start this, sometimes the slippery slope is true, and sometimes anti-slippery slope is another fallacy that often isn't listed. It skips the probability and the mechanism between steps. Use cases, tech policy. If we allow drones, the sky becomes unflyable for planes. So if we allow drones now, the sky will be full of drones all the time. Schools permit hats, and students will arrive in costumes. So if you permit wearing a hat, then down the road, kids will be like Pikachu, zapping Kaya. They will be like big Pikachu. Or a medicine approved this drug, then all untested drugs follow. Slippery slope argument. How to respond? Ask for causal links, guardrails, and real probabilities. Next one, number 7. Hasty generalization or hasty generalization. Drawing a broad conclusion from a small or an unrepresentative sample. So if you draw you heard an anecdote and you make like everybody's like that. That's what I like to do with the country stereotypes, but that's just for fun. Inference without adequate data. So travel. Two rude waiters. This city is unfriendly. Yeah, because just because you happen to get two unfriendly waiters into restaurants, it means everybody in this city like boo. Which, of course, not true. Hiring one intern underperformed. University X is low quality. Just because from this university one person was bad, people can be. You like trash the whole university. 3 people report side effects. Drug is unsafe. Again, just because 3 people say they don't feel good, it doesn't mean that new drug for like cancer is not effective. Or maybe it is effective just but with some side effects, Sometimes the side effects are worth it. So, how to respond to request larger representative samples and error bars. Next one is anecdotal evidence. That's like similar to the one using personal stories as proof against stronger data. Anecdotes are uncontrolled, selective, and often biased. So my grandpa smoked daily and lived to 95. Smoking isn't harmful. Just because your grandpa did it, it doesn't mean it's not harmful. There's data about that. I never smoked, actually. I never smoked. I never drank. I was never drunk. I never smoked. I never did any drugs. I never smoked anything. And now I can't even eat. So I'm like ascetic life. One day I might move into the mountains and become a monk. It might happen in 5 years. And I say end. This is the end. And if this video doesn't get a million likes, I'm going to do it. No, I shouldn't say that. Okay. Keto cured my friend's insomnia. It's the cure-all. It can help. Sometimes. But that's again anecdotal evidence. Just because I have a system, for me example, like ASMR, you say that people like ASMR, it doesn't mean it's like some scientifically, but there is some science about ASMR. People really like it. It helps. Everybody who's watching this knows that it helps you sleep and relax. I bought this stock randomly and doubled. Strategy works. Again, privilege systematic evidence over stories. Explain base rates. So number 9, cherry picking or slash Texas sharpshooter. Cherry picking Texas sharpshooter. Selective data that supports your claim while ignoring the rest. Yeah, that's common. You can find study for everything, so it fabricates a signal by hiding contrary evidence. In marketing, showing only months with growth. If I show only, like somebody asked me, how is your channel doing? I always show only good months. They will say oh wow, you are doing good, but the low months are like, oh, you are not doing very good, and this channel is actually dying. Politics, highlighting crime spikes in one neighborhood as national trend. Yeah. Or science, reporting only significant p-values out of dozens of tests. Like you make thousands of tests and one is like nice, and you report just that one. It happens all the time too. So ask for few datasets, time windows, and pre-registered analysis. Next one, number 10. False cause, post hoc, and cum hoc. Cum spelled C-U-M. Yeah, you will like this one, I'm pretty sure. So assuming causation from sequence, post hoc, or correlation, camhawk. Temporal order and correlation don't prove causation. We won after New Jersey's caused victory. It's that often happens in life. Cities with more hospitals have more deaths. Hospitals cause deaths. That's not true. Why are there probably more hospitals? Because there are more injuries. So more injuries mean more deaths. You have to think about it like that. In economics, taxes rose and GDP fell. Taxes cause decline. Taxes are death. But again, it's a false cause, or camhawk. Correlation doesn't mean causation. So, how to respond? Probe for confounders, mechanisms, and casual tests. RCTs, natural experiments. Next one. Circular reasoning, begging the question. This conclusion is smacked into the premise. No independent support, just restatement. This program works because it's effective. There's like this circular logic. People use it all the time when you watch politics. They say like, we are the best city, we go because we have the greatest people. Like, you didn't say anything. That's like, we call it mladit vodu, basically like slapping the water. It's immoral because it's wrong. It's immoral because it's wrong. Because it's wrong, it's immoral. It's circular. It's premium because it's top tier. It's premium because it's top tier. You should buy my membership, which is also premium because it's top tier. Ask for evidence that does not assume the conclusion. Yeah. Next, loaded question. A question that presupposes guilt or a contested claim. It traps the respondent into conceding a premise. That's loaded question. That's often. When did you stop manipulating the statistics? In Czech we have this special. And I will say that in another one. Why are you always late to meetings? Why are you always late to meetings? And you immediately, this is loaded question. Why are you always late to meetings? You should say, why were you late today? How harmful is your product exactly? It's like when you stop beating your wife. That's reject the premise and reframe. I don't accept that assumption. And say, why did you stop manipulating the statistics? And you say, I never manipulated the statistics. And then continue. Why are you always late to the meetings? I was only late this time. And go. Equivocation, ambiguity. Ambiguity is more word. Equivocation. Using a key term in multiple senses within the same argument. So using a key term in multiple senses within the same argument. It swaps meanings midstream to feign logic. So nothing is better than justice. A sandwich is better than nothing. Therefore, a sandwich is better than justice. Nothing is better than justice. A sandwich is better than nothing. Therefore, a sandwich is better than justice. Do you get it? This is fun. This is actually a fun one. And sometimes it works. Rights as moral versus legal claim toggle to suit the point. Yeah. Sometimes rights are moral, sometimes they are legal. Or secure, meaning encrypted, versus breach proof. It's sometimes, secure, it means like it's encrypted, or breach definitions and keep them consistent is the defense. Next one, composition and division. Assuming the whole shares the parts traits, composition, or vice versa, division. Properties don't always scale or distribute. These sectors firm are efficient. The entire economy is efficient. No, just because making ASMR videos is very efficient for making people sleep and giving them more energy to actually increase the GDP. That's why government should sponsor me. It doesn't mean it's not like that. Cells are alive. A virus part must be alive. Yeah, just because cells are alive, it means that's common. 5-star players, champions, guaranteed teams. If you're a 5-star player, you are guaranteed champion, which of course it's false too. To check whether the property aggregates or distributes logically. Next one, we have middle ground, assuming the truth is average between two claims. That always happens, like fancy thing. Reality isn't obliged to split the difference, so some vaccines work, others say they don't. Trust must be halfway. No. One side says 0 casualties, the other says 1,000, so it's 500. So 500 casualties. One side said there was there was 1,000. It was probably in the middle. Eat all sugar versus eat none. So the healthy truth is exactly 50% sugar. It's not true. So evaluate the evidence quality, not just position on a line. Next one, we have false equivalence. Treating two unlike things as equal in weight or kind. It erases crucial differences in magnitude, intent, or context. The use case: a typo in paper equals fabricating data. So just because you make a typo, it doesn't mean you fabricated data. It means you made a mistake, Forgetting a receipt equals embezzlement. Forgetting a receipt equals embezzlement. A peer-reviewed study versus a blog post. Both sides get equal time. Yeah, that's false equivalence. Compare with surface relevant differences. Number 17, appeal to emotion. That's happening all the time now. Fear, pity, disgust, flattery. Substituting feelings for reason. Emotions can inform values but don't establish facts. Think of the children. Pass this bill immediately. That's always the think of the children. Think of the children. Every time I hear that, my head spins. Marketing, fears-based, limited time, scarcity with no evidence of value. That's all happening all the time. I should do video. This video will be deleted in one day. That always, this is common tactic. You have something blinking only 10 days before it runs out. FOMO, it's called FOMO. Online outrage threats that never present data. Ask for verifiable claims, mechanisms, and measurable outcomes. Next one, we have burden of proof shift. Demanding others disprove your unsupported claim. Burden of proof shift. So the claimant bears the burden to provide evidence. Proof ghosts don't exist. I believe in ghosts, and I tell you, proof ghosts don't exist. It's not that hard, Bobby, isn't it? It's not that hard, Melissa. So it means ghosts have to exist. Show me this herbal pill doesn't work. Show me this herbal pill doesn't work. You can prove it isn't a cover-up. conspiracy, the last video that we had about conspiracies. Reassert burden, the positive claim needs positive evidence. Next one is no true Scotsman. Redefining a group to shield a universal claim from counterexamples. It moves the goalpost along. So no real fans dislike this sequel. No real fans dislike this sequel. It's always like no true conservative supports this policy. Real athletes never skip workouts. Real athletes never skip workouts. So you move the no true Scotsman. You move the group somewhere. So fix criteria ahead of time. Don't revise after counterexamples appear. I should have used my Scottish accent. I cannot do very good Scottish accent. Next, well, we have, but I'm thinking I have, Motte-and-bailey. Alternating between a bold, hard-to-defend claim, Bailey, and a vague, defensible one, Motte. When challenged, it traces an ambiguity to dodge refutation. So all media lies, Bailey. When pressed, some headlines are sloppy, Motte. So you give like hard stuff, and when they push you say like some headlines are sloppy, But the premise what all media lies. The marketing guarantee result. Customer often report improvements. Is their defense. Diet carbs are poison. Some people overeat refined sugar. So you say carbs are poison, and somebody says like no, and they say some people overeat refined sugar. So pin the speaker to the specific claim you're evaluating. Next one is red herring, including an irrelevant issue to distract from the point. It derails evaluation without addressing the claim. Asked about pollution, answer focuses on unemployment. For example, critique about missed deadlines, reply about office paint color. Red herring, you throw the red herring. Question on costs, answer on brand values. Return to the original question and park tangent. Nirvana, perfect solution, fallacy. Perfect solution, not final solution. I know you wanted to say that, Heinrich. Rejecting a good solution because it isn't perfect. Rejecting a good solution because it isn't perfect. Compares real options to an unreal ideas. That's communism, for example. So public health, seatbelts don't save everyone, so they are pointless. The policy doesn't block all hunks, so scrap it. This plan isn't a silver bullet. This plan isn't a silver bullet, so don't do nothing. Compare against realistic alternatives and net benefits. Yeah. Next one is appeal to tradition or appeal to novelty. Those are both the same. So old means true or new means true. Age isn't evidence. Tradition, we've always done it this way, therefore it's best. Yeah. It's the latest framework, therefore superior. It's the latest Minecraft version, so it must be better than the beta, of course. It's the latest Heroes of Might and Magic, so it must be better than Heroes 3 Complete, which isn't. But they are doing remaster. I'm going to play it. I think it's a Heroes Old World. I love these games. Next one, culture. Classic methods or past versus shiny tool syndrome. Yeah, like newest tool. Ask for performance, reliability, and comparative data. And next one, we have appeal to nature. Natural is good, artificial is bad. Hemlock is natural, insulin is artificial. Goodness isn't defined by origin, so it's organic, so it's safe at any dose. Hemlock is not very good at any dose, actually, at 0 doses. Herbal means side effect free, which is of course bullshit. Chemical free, chemistry, nonsense, equals healthy. So evaluate the risk benefit, dose and evidence, not labels. Tu quo, I think it's called tu quoque. Basically, whataboutism. So accusing hypocrisy to deflect the argument. Someone's inconsistency doesn't make their claim false. So your party did it too. So our policy stands. You once littered, so your recycling plan is invalid. You missed a deadline, so deadlines don't matter. Yeah, separate the claims true from the claimant's behavior. And the last one, moralistic and naturalistic fallacies. Value, fact, swap. Smuggling off from is naturalistic, or is from off. That's like hard to explain. Moralistic. Facts don't automatically dictate values, and values don't conjure facts. The policy. This is how markets behave. Therefore, it's moral right. This is how markets behave. So it's moral right. It's not. People ought to be disciplined. They have to. They off. They are. Like it's off. You know. I don't know how to say it otherwise. Therefore, obesity is purely choice. People ought to be disciplined. They are like supposed to do it. Should do it. Therefore, obesity is purely choice. We should value tradition. Therefore, traditions are factually superior. Distinguish descriptive claims from normative ones. So that's all. I hope you learned something, or that you are sleeping like completely dead, basically. And if you like the video, don't forget to push all the buttons. It really helps for the YouTube. And you can watch my other videos after this one. I have plenty on the channel. Anyway, thank you for watching. I love you, and I will see you in the next one.